Hi guys, and welcome back to my corner of the internet and YouTube. And let's do a quick disclaimer before this video starts. This is not water and these are not my eyebrows. So now that we have that covered, this is going to be a quick and very late June TBR. I am mostly a fantasy channel. Not all of these books are going to be fantasy, and a couple of these books are going to be backlisted, and a couple of them are going to be new releases for the month of June. I wasn't going to post this video. We are now a week into the month of June. It is the 8th when I'm recording this, but I have been in very much of a reader mode. But now looking at the books that I'm kind of planning to read, I do think I'm likely going to be reading them through the month. So here is my very late June TBR. The first book I want to talk about that came out earlier this month, I think on the 2nd or the 3rd, is Service Model by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I am a huge fan of Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And this is going to be kind of, I think it's going to be a lighter side of a dystopian sci-fi novel. It's almost $30 to buy the hardcover, and I can't do that. So I'm going to be listening to this on Audible. Tchaikovsky is the narrator, I believe, when you buy the audiobook. So that is my plan for this. And we are following a robot, an AI robot, who has had some sneaky things downloaded into his core programming where he winds up killing his lord of the manor, and after he murders his employer, his owner, he escapes into the wide world where AI is becoming a little bit confused, because while they were programmed to preserve the well-being of humanity, humanity is struggling to survive itself. So now AI has to kind of find its own path on its own. So I think this is going to be a very thought-provoking, more of a lighthearted sci-fi. But this is one I'm really looking forward to picking up. It came out on the 2nd or the 3rd, maybe the 4th, but this is one I'm really looking forward to picking up this month. The next new release is The Eyes Are the Best Part, and this is by Monika Kim. This is not a science fiction or fantasy. This is following a female serial killer. She is coping with the loss of, I believe, her grandfather, and we're exploring that along with her being a serial killer, and she removes the eyes and collects the eyes from her victim. The reason that I'm more interested in reading that this month is because last month I read Butcher and Blackbird, a completely different genre. At the end of the day, this is some light one day read smut, and The Eyes Are the Best Part is on the complete other side of fiction. But that is one I'm picking up this month. It is not sci-fi or fantasy related, and I believe that comes out on June 25th. Another new release for this month, I believe it came out earlier this month, was Leather and Lark by Bryanne Weaver, and that is the follow-up to Butcher and Blackbeard. This time we are following Lark, who is the best friend of our female main character in the first book. She is a musician, and I think she is finally hooking up with, what is his name? Lachlan Kane, who is the brother of the male main character in our first book. I'm expecting this to be kind of mob, hitman, romance. It's a smut. Straight up, this is going to be a palate cleanser in between my heavier read this month. This is not something I typically pick up, but since I did read the first book and more or less enjoy it, I'm going to be picking it up in June. This was my book of the month birthday pick, so I grabbed this from book of the month, and I'm going to be reading that this month. Now, a book that I think everybody is looking forward to in my corner of YouTube is Foul Days by Genevieve Demova. And people are saying that this is for fans of The Witcher and Naomi Novik. I'm not particularly a fan of Naomi Novik. I have DNF'd and put down her books on more than one occasion. I've tried multiple times to enjoy her storytelling. It's just not for me. But we are following a monster hunting witch who has sold her shadow, which is the essence of her power, I believe to escape her ex-boyfriend. And she pairs up with a detective to get her powers back because she is suffering from a plague that only shadowless witches suffer from. Now, everybody is looking forward to this book. I'm 50-50 on whether or not I'm going to be picking it up, because I do not think that this is what everybody is expecting. I think people are expecting more Witcher, and I am expecting more of kind of a metaphor for DV, and I think this is going to come with quite a few trigger warnings. I don't think this is going to be what everybody is expecting it to be. I will pick it up if I get through the rest of my TBR, but like I said, very 50-50 on this. I don't know if this is going to be everybody's cup of tea. I don't think it is going to be as fantasy heavy as it is going to be a metaphor set in a fantasy world. I could be totally wrong, but I think people are jumping into this with expectations that are not going to be met necessarily, but I could be totally wrong. This could be more strictly monster hunting and less woman escaping DV, but I'm expecting very, very metaphor vibes. All right, now we are going way, way back into time because I want to pick up Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. The third installment in the series is coming out this month. There's no way I'm going to get to it this month, but I am interested in starting the series. I read the first chapter of this book and it has immediately drawn me in. We are following 3 points of view. We are following a captain, a sun priest, and a member of, I don't know how to describe our third character, a member that has been set aside from his culture and is being reintroduced into his culture. This is going to be during the eclipse. We are going to see how the sun priest and the rest of the civilization in pre-colonial America deals with the eclipse. The magic system, I'm not really sure if there's going to be a magic system or if it's just going to be religion, mythology based. But I'm telling you, the first chapter of this book was enough to draw me in immediately. And I cannot wait to get to this book. If it is what I think it is going to be, then I have a feeling that I'm going to order the second and the third installment right away. We'll see how this one goes. And the next, going way, way back in time, is Children of Blood and Bone. Now, in the blurb for this book, it says it is perfect for fans of Leigh Bardugo. If you follow this channel at all, you know that I'm not a particular fan of Leigh Bardugo, but just based on the synopsis of this story and the mythos, I don't think it's going to be that sort of storytelling. We are going through a story based on African folklore and mythology. We are following Zalea, and in her kingdom of Orisha, there has been has risen a new king who has killed off all of the magi, including Orisha's mother, and she has escaped her kingdom. She has paired up with a rogue princess, and she is set to outwit and outrun a new prince of the kingdom who is trying to get rid of all magic 100%. I do think there is going to be a love interest in this. This is YA fantasy, another book where the third installment in the series is coming out this month. And the cover art for the third book in the series is what made me finally want to pick up this series, because I think this is the most beautiful cover I've ever seen. So I am going to do this. I think this will be a quick read for me, because it is YA and I do get through YA very quickly. This isn't the sort of religion mythology that we see a lot in fantasy, and I'm really looking forward to reading this and learning about a whole different aspect other than Northern European and Asian mythology. The next on my June TBR is The Deer and the Dragon by Piper CJ. I got the one with the blue sprayed edges. We are following an author, Marlowe, and she has an imaginary lover and friend that she believes she created in her own mind because of her religious trauma, but she finds on later on in life that maybe her imaginary friend isn't so imaginary, and gods, goddesses, demons, nymphs, and angels all start introducing themselves into her life. And this is a heavy in the romance department, but I wouldn't call it romantasy. It's definitely not YA, but this is not what I thought it was going to be by reading the synopsis online. I thought this was going to kind of be kind of like a battle, like a mythological battle, and it is and it isn't. This has a lot of trigger warnings. I recommend really checking out the trigger warnings before you pick up this book. Piper CJ is someone that I follow on social media, so I really do agree with all of the content she puts out and the statements she wants to put out. So I really am interested in finally picking up one of her books. I haven't picked up any of her novels before, but The Deer and the Dragon is going to be my first time investing into Piper CJ's writing. The next book I hopefully will pick up this month is Trader of Red Winter. I have Witch Queen of Red Winter in my NetGalley folder already. This is by Ed McDonald. This is the second book in the series. We are following Rain, who can communicate with the dead. This is based on Scottish and the Scottish Highland mythology. If you can communicate with the dead, you are put to death, because that realm of existence, once entered into our own realm of existence, can essentially be the end of humanity. Some magic is allowed. The magic system in this is complex. Still after reading the first book, I don't fully understand the magic system from this world. I'm hoping that I'll understand it better reading the second novel, but she can obviously perform within the first and second tier of this magic realm and above and beyond, but she has to keep that a secret because she will be put to death. But she is communing with apparently a goddess from the realm of the dead, and that can cause her some serious problems. This is not a YA book, even though our main character is 17 years old. This is following very adult themes. It is not heavy in romance, which I appreciate because I'm very picky with my romantasy. It's not something I lean toward, but Trader of Redwinter, I have a feeling I know where this is going. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to doing a video on this whole series. I definitely recommend picking up the first book and seeing if it's for you. It feels like a decade ago where I read Middle Game by Shannon McGuire, and Tidal Creatures is already out. I'm not going to read Tidal Creatures this month because I haven't read Seasonal Fears. We are not following the same characters from the first book. We are following Melanie and Harry. Melanie is at death's door, and Harry doesn't want to believe in destiny because that means accepting the loss of the one person who gives his life meaning. So now they have an option to kind of escape the reality they're in and be together, or stick in the reality and accept life as it comes. I love Shannon McGuire's writing. This is not for everybody. I know people read Middle Game, and since it was not the same sort of storytelling as the Wayward Children series, a lot of people didn't like it. I loved Middle Game, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. And I don't think I will be picking up Tidal Creatures at the end of the month, but if I do, we will see how this one goes. But if you are a fan of Middle Game, the third book in the series is out this month. I think it came out on the 4th. We'll see how this goes. So I'm picking up Seasonal Fears this month. This next book was very much just like it was last month. I know I said I was going to read it last month. Time is a thing. But this was very much in between Malazan and the Empire of the Wolf. This month I am definitely getting to the Empire of the Wolf, the Justice of Kings. We are following Sir Conrad Volvolt and his apprentice, Helena, and this is a realm. I think this is going to be political fantasy more than military fantasy. We are following a realm where judge, jury, and executioner all fall into the hands of an individual. We are going to see how power can corrupt or how power can influence. I am very much looking forward to this series. I am less intimidated by this series than I am by picking up Gardens of the Moon, but this is one I'm definitely going to be getting into this month. And also this month I have two beginning of summer. I know summer is still away, but it is 100 degrees outside. So these are kind of my beginning of summer reads. These are my two maybes if I have time or if I'm in the mood for them. I have Andrea Stewart's The Bone Shard Emperor, the second installment in the Drowning Empire. I read The Bone Shard Daughter when it came out, and I have had this on my shelf since then. I have no reason why I haven't read this. No reason whatsoever. I loved The Bone Shard Emperor. I loved the writing. I loved the world building. I loved our animal companions. This is an amazing world. I can't get too into the plot of this book without spoiling anything for the first, but we are following 2 points of views in the first book and our animal companion, and the magic in this world is insane. You can bring things to life based on basically scrimshawing bone, and they have to follow your commands. Kind of think computer programming on bone, and they can't stray from whatever you program into them, but you can kind of hack into this bone and change what they can and cannot do. So this I'm really looking forward to reading. Based on the world it's built in, I think this is very good for a beginning of summer read, and not a beach read because this isn't casual reading, but it is like lighter, dark fantasy, if that makes sense. Another reason that is on my maybe pile is I know that Andrea Stewart is coming out with a new series this year, and I would like to finish her first series before I pick up anything else from her. And the next book is the next maybe is The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I haven't read Shannon Chakraborty before. I don't think I have. We are following Amina, and she is an older female main character. She is, I believe she's a pirate or a mercenary, and she just wants this one last job so her daughter will be set for life. She is a reluctant main character, a reluctant protagonist, But I know a lot of people want more pirate fantasy, want more seabound fantasy. So this is a possible pickup for me for the month of June if I finish everything else on my TBR. But I'm more likely to pick up the Bone Chart Emperor before. We'll see how my reading journey goes. So this is a maybe. But that is everything I want to get to in the month of June. In case you are still around, then you know that every month that I try to read either a nonfiction or a classic book, either a modern classic or just a classic. And this month I'm going to reread 1984. I haven't read 1984 since I was in high school, and it has been one of my favorite books, period, for all time. I'm interested to see what my reaction and responses to it is going to be as an adult, because I was in high school a very long time ago, but I wrote a book report on this book. I had to present it to the class, and I inspired a lot of people to read this book, so I know I was very passionate about it and its message. So that is going to be the classic dystopian that I pick up this month. Lately I've only been picking up nonfiction, so I'm getting back into the world of fiction, and that is going to be the classic fiction or modern classic that I pick up this month. Now this is a little weird because this is the book that I'm not going to pick up this month, and I want to talk about why. I'm not going to pick up Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio this month, and there is a very specific reason that I'm not going to pick up with BookTube's darling science fiction. And that is because I want to do a reread of Empire of Silence, and I want to do it with you, alongside with you guys, because I hate Hadrian so much, and I don't just want to bash our main character without showing you guys why I don't like our main character from that book. I know this is BookTube's darling right now. I know Christopher Rocchio, especially in the male fantasy genre, everybody is just hyping him up, and I agree, the world building and the storytelling is amazing. I don't know how Hadrian is going to become the Sun Eater and the Killer of Worlds yet. We are essentially reading his memoirs or his journals, but I have a lot of problems with our male main character, and I just want to do a video talking about why before I jump into the next of the series. And I think literally going chapter by chapter with you guys through this journey will kind of help you understand my perspective of it more, rather than just bashing a character. Keep in mind, I'm bashing the character, not the book. The book I like, the character I don't. Before I get into that, please keep in mind, I do read a lot of philosophy. I do read Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Sophocles. I do read them all. So I'm going into that having read the Stoic philosophers of the Roman Empire. And that is probably why I'm very, very critical of Hadrian and do despise him so much as a main character. But that is the opposite of a TBR, because Howling Dark is something I'm not going to be reading this month, and that is probably because next month I'm going to be doing a reread of Empire of Silence with you guys. And that is everything. That is my entire June reading plan, TBR type of deal. We'll see how it goes. I'm really sure I'm going to be sticking to this TBR. I'm not going to be ordering any more books because life is hard, but we'll see how this goes. If there's anything else coming out this month or any other series you think I should pick up and read, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you want me to keep my channel going. The other reason I'm posting this video kind of late into the month was I was honestly thinking of abandoning this channel and just focusing more on my other channel, because this one honestly isn't doing too well. But I really do enjoy reading and sharing it with you guys, so if you could drop a like just to encourage me to keep this channel going, I would appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time to bash Hadrian. That is coming soon. I'll let you know when that is coming. I am gonna get so much hate for that. All right, thank you guys, bye.